Did it clip that? Okay, sorry.
Boom bam!
Loud.
Welcome to episode
Boom,
7.
bam.
Welcome to episode 7 of the fucking goddamn Pipsqueaks podcast.
You just went in. Damn, I'm still doing sound checks, and you're like bam, boom, pow.
I'm really glad that this isn't like YouTube and you can curse within the first minute. You know what I'm saying?
Oh wait, are we cursing within the first minute? Did we?
I just said fucking goddamn.
Dude, my brain's gone.
Yeah, you're just super gone.
It's because I did all that drum shit today, man.
This fucking we just spent, how long was that? An hour? A little less than an hour.
I was doing it for like 4 hours before you.
So
because I was sending you voice messages. I was like, I think I'll figure it out. How do I do this? What do I do this?
Yeah, hooking up fucking mixing and engineer song stuff is fucking booty cheeks. Super booty cheeks.
Yeah,
fuck all
but it's
that.
Okay.
No, it's all good. As long as by the end of it you fixed it, it's good.
Exactly, and I did.
Exactly.
And now we got him sounding good.
We got him sounding fucking fresh. Fucking stupid, pristine. So, episode 7. Who'da thunk?
Yeah. Who'da thunk we made it this far?
We had
a little hiccup in the middle.
Do I sound like hiccup? Do I sound like I'm in a giant room to you?
There's definitely a little bit more reverb.
A little bit more reverb? Is it to the point where you can't really understand me or hear me?
Oh no, it's good, but it's a very slight amount of reverb.
Yeah, I'm in my kitchen, so.
Okay, yeah, you can tell you're just in like a medium-sized, unfurnished room. You know, with no cloth furnishings.
I have fucking furniture. This room is furnished. What do you take me for?
It is a kitchen, sir. There are hard objects about.
Well, I'm on the living room side of the kitchen. You fucking ass.
Well, then you have a big living room. I don't know.
My living room is pretty big.
Your living room is decent size.
How do you know?
Because you see me videos.
Yeah, well, still.
And like you still like there's like a couch in there, there's a TV.
Yeah, but still.
If you can fit that, that's pretty big. That's a big ass living room.
You fucking dude, stop talking about my living situations.
What do you mean? I'm complimenting the size of your
my what?
Thing.
Don't ever start a sentence that way.
I'm complimenting your impressive size, sir.
Look at this 18.
What?
100-foot square room.
That would be a huge fucking room.
That's the size of no, I think this apartment's 18. I think. Oh fuck, I don't know. Who gives a shit?
You don't even know.
I live in the desert.
Welcome back to Pipsqueaks.
Welcome to Pipsqueaks. What's the name of the podcast?
What's the name? Dude, what is it?
Today's episode is sponsored by no one because everybody hates us. And I'm getting sick and tired of not having a sponsor. If we hit double digits with no sponsor, I'm done.
Dude, the first time we hit double digits, the title is going to be double digits with no sponsor.
Oh, fuck. Way to foreshadow, because that is going to be our fucking title. Why don't you try naming this podcast before you name one, like a couple from now? Huh?
Single digits and sad.
Shit, you're right. Okay.
Title.
Single digits and sad it is. So our last podcast performed horribly.
Did it?
So far. It's not been great. I feel like people don't like hearing about wieners and wiener pumps and vacuum erections and things like that.
I'm totally not gonna lie. That was my favorite one we've done though.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. If you like it and no one listens, then fuck them. Let's keep doing the shit we like.
That's valid. I like that.
I'm cool with that. As long as I enjoy it, as long as we enjoy it.
I'm vibing with it.
Get ready for more and more wiener pumps and vacuum erections.
Exactly. We're back with episode 2 of Wiener Pumps.
Yeah, we just completely switched the podcast. This podcast is ever evolving. Every 4 episodes, we change the name.
Yeah, new name, Pipsqueaks. Talking about dick pumps.
Pipsqueaks. Pump squirts. Them pump squirts, boys. So racist.
Them damn pump squirts. Why is it always racist?
I only ever do that voice and that character after we say something remotely racist.
What did we just say that was racist?
I don't know. You know the racist bassist, right?
No.
You never heard that? It's like a joke, and it's like it'll say a racist joke, and then they just go boom, 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 and it's like,
oh wow,
it's supposed to be just like a verbal character. It's a good time, but I'm not about to drop a racist question or a racist joke just to do it. So you got the gist.
I get it. Yeah, you can let's not do that here.
This is probably our most prompt podcast of all time, seeing as we're doing it in the middle of the day. And by the middle of the day, I mean 11 your time and 8 p.m. my time.
Dude, middle of the day. I took a nap earlier.
Well, yeah, but you sleep nocturnally. Did you know diurnally? Wait, hang on. Hang on, sorry. I think it's diurnal. Is like dogs are diurnal. Hang on. Cover for me.
Diurnally?
Run the ad. Run the ad.
With Swiffer Wet Jet, you can pick up more dust and use less waste.
It's
Swiffer
diurnal.
Wet Jet.
It's diurnal.
Okay.
Diurnal is. Oh fuck. No, keep going.
Pet fucking hair everywhere. Get a Swiffer Wet Jet. It will, man, wow, moist. Pick that up.
It will, man, wow. You're just like, you're fucking surprised at the product that you're reviewing, and in the moment man, you're like, wow, it really does that.
Wow, damn, it's really
working. Like, man, wow, just like, dude, wow, it's something to write home about. You know what I'm saying?
This is crazy.
Anyways, diurnal is animals that are diurnal are usually awake and active during the day. So that's like people. We're diurnal. Okay. And then nocturnal is usually awake and active during the night. So you, my friend, are some fusion of the two.
No. I hate being awake.
What's your current sleeping schedule, Mr. Successful Trader Man?
All over the place. This whole week, I have literally been up all day. I will sleep for 3 hours before London session. I will wake up, trade for a couple hours, sleep for 4 till New York, and then 3 or 4 till New York, and then I'm up for the whole day again and do the same thing. That was all week. For
some context, what time is your London and New York session?
London, I get up at 2 a.m., and then New York, I get up at 7 a.m.
When's the break between the two? Like, when do you stop trading London?
London this week was, I stopped between, it was like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning.
And then you're waking back up right before 7 from New York session.
And then I'm waking up right before 7, and then I'm up for the rest of the day at that point until I fall back asleep at like 11 p.m., 10 p.m.
See, every time we've gotten on sessions, like for context for me, since I'm in Arizona, is the mountain time and all that shit, and which is actually because of daylight savings, we're synced with Pacific time, so California and I are on the same page right now. But essentially, my London session starts for me at 10 at night, or at least when I show up. Like, you're showing up at 2, I'm showing up at 10, and then I'm trading until about 1, and you're trading until about 4. Yes. No, until about 4 basically. So
I was getting off a bit early.
Well, this week is
goofy.
I mean, this week was extra goofy. With extra whipped goof on it. It's fucking
extra whipped goof.
This week was slow motion.
So I will say that, speaking of this week being slow motion, so I think we've mentioned this on the podcast before. We have our own trading strategy. Like, it's not like a pre-existing one. We kind of made it ourselves. We took a bunch of things we knew. And we've done so much testing with it. This is the first week in a long time that I'm ending negative. Not big negative, but just a little bit. But this is like, that's how slow this week has been.
Yeah, and it's not even because we've taken a lot of losses. It's because we haven't had a lot of opportunities. So we just so happen to end up on a loss. I'm down a half loss right now. And
I'm down a
full loss from, you missed something, didn't we?
Yeah, because we were testing stuff out.
Yeah, no. Tell it from its inception. I forgot. Tell the story from the beginning.
So this week we're doing New York session now, okay? And we're trying a thing. So we're obviously doing it on a demo because no smart person would just jump into something you don't know and go live. So I had my demo account up from Monday's New York session. I was like, yeah, demo. And I never closed out a demo. I was still logged into my demo account. So come London, New York, or what the hell, London Tuesday, where we got some banger setups, and we get in them, and like 15 minutes in, we're talking, and Miller is like, are you on demo? Because something was slightly different. And sure as shit, I was on demo and I missed the trades.
Yeah.
So you got a win and a loss from that night, which means that you got plus 20 pips that night.
Yep, which means it eliminated our loss from Monday. So for me, I was even at that point while you were negative 20 pips.
So I took 2 trades this week.
Yeah, right? For the whole week.
For the whole week on 3 pairs.
I only took 3 trades this week. I only took 1 more trade than you.
That's 15 trade opportunities, like, per session.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
and I got 2.
That's the no. I was gonna spit that number too. They say 3. There's basically 3 chances for trades a night. So 3 by 5. So essentially, that's a perfect week. That's not a perfect week. I should say it's a full week of trading with no news events, no issues, And
Right, and I had 2.
yeah, right. And I had 3, and you know what I mean? Like it fucking.
It was rough, and we were testing a new strategy in New York. And even that was slow, and that was a completely different
Yeah,
strategy.
and my
And even like
attendance to that was not great either. I was barely there.
it's okay. And you think you were there for like one day,
I was there for 2, but
one and a half?
I left both early.
Yeah.
I left both of them about an hour early because it's about a 3-hour session. So
So are you gonna try to be like have better attendance next week? I know that sounds stupid,
yeah,
but like
well,
that
my
sounds.
living situation
No,
is
are you gonna have better attendance next week?
there's a reason that I'm in the kitchen doing this podcast. We have some people staying with us, and there's been a lot of excitement with the dog, and like I mentioned last podcast and the podcast before that actually that I got a dog, but we haven't gone into that, which we will because it's definitely there's some shit to talk about.
It's a topic.
It's a topic for sure. We've glossed on it, but essentially my living situation is like currently just kind of jumbly, not in a bad way, but it's just been pretty hard, and like especially with New York session,
Right.
like
Yeah.
I know you were talking about your struggles with your schedule, but the last couple nights it's been for me, it's like I'll be up all day long, and then I'll come trade at 10, stop at 1, and then I'll go to bed from 1 to 4 in the morning, which is when my New York session starts. I'll get up at 4 in the morning, and then I try to trade from 4 to 7, but I don't usually make it to the end of New York recently because of this. So I'm basically trading from 4 to 5:30, 5:40, and then I go back to bed. But then my dog has decided that with all this excitement from people staying here, he likes to get up at 6 to pee. And then he likes to go back in his cage and bark from 6 in the morning. So basically then I'm up for the day, and then I restart the whole deal. So I've been sleeping like 4 or 3 hours. And then that's like nightly, which is fine. Like I can run it. I used to work like night shift at a hospital and not sleep during the day and shit, which is like just fucky all over the place. But I'm used to it. I feel like ass, yeah, but it's okay. But if he wasn't fucking going nuts every night, then it'd be fine. But this whole living situation thing is going to end soon. And when it does that, I'll be able to mosey my way into the office for New York session from now on, keep myself awake, not have to worry about keeping anybody up. It's been more about a courtesy lately than it has like I'm too tired. Like last night I skipped New York session just because I was too tired and I just needed to catch. And then this weekend I'm going to catch up on all my sleep and all that shit.
Right.
And then next Monday we're going to come rip it because lightning doesn't usually strike twice. So I don't really imagine we're going to have a slow week next week. So I'm ready to get in there. And we're supposed to be bringing this new strategy to the limelight for New York session. So we're about to start hammering out profit for this next couple of weeks, hopefully.
Hammering out profit.
Hammering. It should be really well. We're actually supposed to do some testing on this new session dealy tonight, which would
the new setups.
Great. Yeah. So
it's everything.
That's the trade news. The trade news lately, but this was probably the slowest week I've had on this system since we started it for sure.
Oh, this is one of the slowest weeks I think I've ever had trading. I'm not gonna lie.
Even in backtest, excuse my yawn. Even in backtest, what?
Sorry, keep going. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Because I know you're saying like how slow this is. Remember when I was doing a bunch of back testing for like the months before, and I was like, hey, September was ass. It was slow. This might be like a September.
I hope not.
And really, the first week of September that I tested only was up 20 pips, and you're down 20 pips for the first week, so it's not far off.
No, but that week ended as a 200 pip week, didn't it? Or month, right?
Close. Yeah, I think it was like 180 or something like that.
So it's not so bad. I mean,
it picked up a lot towards the end.
Yeah, it's
probably, like the first 2 weeks sucked, and then the last 2 were like they picked up.
Well,
what were you gonna say?
Think about it like this: maybe adding that second session is gonna make up for the slowness.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping.
So we'll have to see how that goes. That's up in the air, but I don't remember where I was going with my thing. But
Damn,
it's okay.
I feel bad now.
No, don't feel bad. It wasn't special. If it was special, I would have remembered it. But basically, my living situation is going to change soon. So things will start to get a lot easier. And yeah, doing this whole trade strategy thing is like everything's been pretty smooth recently with this whole new deal since we've been, getting a good hang of like how things are working with it. Lots of testing and shit. It's a strange feeling to be like extremely hopeful and like have all the data to back your strategy, but then to have the market not give you anything. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, the strategy kills it. It kills it in test. It kills it live. All these things. We're learning a new strategy that also kills it in test and also live. And then the market's like, yeah, we're not going to give you any of that. Things are just going to be slow. And you're just like itching. You're just like, I want to trade. Like, I got to do it because it's like right there, but I can't do it. And it's like, it just isn't giving it to you. Like,
everything together and nothing shows up.
I remember what I was going to say too. I have never tested any period of time in the entire back test that I've done for our system where there was 2 days in a row with no trades. And
right.
Thursday and Friday of this past week were zero trades.
Zero.
We say, which is crazy. Like there are some nights that we don't trade and we miss stuff. Like this is old school. Like, we don't really miss things that much anymore since we've been tightening up the bolts here. But we used to miss things and be like, man, we didn't trade tonight, and then look back and be like, oh, there were trades. But like in test and like looking at it, dude, there was nothing for the past 2 whole days.
Yeah.
And above everything else, we switched brokers.
Yeah, should we talk about that?
Yeah, sure. That's a good topic. I mean, last podcast is about wieners, pumps, erections, puking on your friends.
Yup.
And then this podcast can be about trading. Or I mean, we'll probably throw wieners and stuff in here eventually, but like, whatever.
There'll be wieners.
Oh shit. Wieners. We can name this podcast If You Build It, the Wieners Will Come.
No.
The
wieners will come. That's fucked up.
Wieners will come. We should talk about there's so much to talk about.
You can't be mid-podcast and be like, we should talk about this.
What did you talk about for your podcast? Well, I listed everything we should talk about in our podcast, but we didn't get to anything because I just kept referencing what to talk about.
Our topic of discussion was what we should discuss.
Shit, I got so many thoughts.
So let me here. Okay, so we switched brokers.
We did.
And there's a reason. Anyone that trades Forex, this was something I recently learned about, and I still don't really know much about it. Apparently, there's A type or style brokers and B type brokers.
Yep.
And the one we were on was a B type broker. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Was indeed.
And what it means is that for like the small time coming up trader, not someone that's trading with like a hedge fund, right?
Right. You're not funded either. Like you're just like a little guy with like 500.
Right.
I would say anywhere from like a $500 to like a $3,000 account. You're probably in this pool.
Yeah, you're getting some wins, you're getting consistent and things like that. Your trades don't go straight from you out to the bank where the price is coming from.
Yeah, if you've ever been like, I don't even understand how you click buttons on your computer and then you make money. Basically, what Flowers is saying here when he says the price, when you say your trades go from you to the bank, is like when you make a trade, it's an order. Okay, you're ordering the trade of a currency. You're ordering a leverage to take place with shares and units. And like when you do this, it goes from you. In your brain, it's going to go from you to the bank, right? Because the bank is the one moving the money around, blah, blah, blah. It's going to come back to you. And then what happens, Flowers?
Well, with a B type broker on the smaller accounts, instead of going a streamline from you to the bank, and then that's where your order is, it goes from you to the broker, which is a third-party company. And then for smaller, they have their own internalized charts. So instead of sending it from you to them, and then they just like, okay, we'll go to the bank, they can fuck with it in their own like company. Like they have like, I don't know how to explain this, but they can like manipulate the charts a little bit to reflect things differently than what the bank is actually showing.
Correct. I want you to think about it like this. No, it makes perfect sense, but let's think about it like this in layman's terms without thinking about trading. If I was like, yo, homie, I need you to go to this place to actually, you know what? No, I'll make it more simple. Hey, I need you to go on this nature walk. Somewhere on this nature walk is a place that is like a park bench that I need you to get to because I left my phone on it. And here's a map. Okay, I'm going to hand you a map, and it's going to have a line showing you which turns to make through this nature. Like, oh, I come to a fork in the road. Do I take the right or the left? Essentially, it is extremely important that you have the correct information in front of you as way to get to where you need to go and back.
Right.
A and B style brokers. The B style broker is going to give you a map that they drew with a Sharpie that is going to say go right, left, right, and then you're there. Okay? Super whatever. It's nasty. And then the A style broker There's no middleman. It goes from you to the bank. So essentially, I'm giving you a map that is perfect. It's laid out. It has the miles. It has the turns. It has the landmarks. It has everything. It is think about it like
topographical map.
It's a fucking. It's Google Earth on a fucking tablet that was shoved in your eyes. It is like essentially as important as getting from one place to the next. Your map is absolutely important for a trader. The chart is the basis, the concrete floor for everything that you do. Imagine if somebody just tweaked something in that chart.
Just
everything that you do is false and flawed from then on out. That is something that can occur with a B-style broker.
Yes.
And it is speculated and highly theorized, and I would imagine proven in some way, shape, or form, but I don't have the data, that when you get on a winning streak, because your broker is the one who looks at your money and has your money, when you're on a winning streak,
they
have a tab of everything that you're doing. If you're in profit or not, they know what you're doing. And basically they're like, this guy is making a lot of fucking money. Let's not let that happen. Let me just kind of skew his charts slightly.
Just a little bit.
You know, and this is obviously a lot of people are like, well, I trade with this kind of broker and they're US regulated in this manner and blah, blah, blah. And you must be using offshore. And like, it doesn't matter if you're using offshore. It doesn't matter what we use. We're not going to talk about who we're using or what we're using or how many accounts we have or what brokers we use or how taxes work. None of that is going to happen here because this podcast is based on, is just talking about the concept. We're not going to get into like, this is what you have to do. Like you got to deal with all that on your own. All that stuff, like, do I trade with IG or do I trade with offshore? Do I trade with this or US broker, blah, blah, blah. What about taxes? What do you do? You know what I mean? That is irrelevant. We're not.
Like, there's so much stuff out there. We're not.
That is irrelevant. We're not going to do any of that. What we're talking about is a broker who may or may not be messing with your money.
And what type of broker they are, yeah.
Basically, we moved from a broker because of speculations that this may be happening. And then upon testing it, it definitely was happening. Essentially, like, we have a trigger for our trades. If we see this, that means that we're good to go. You get the green light. But
what we can say, like, the trigger. The trigger is what the US dollar does.
Right.
Just the US dollar chart.
Right. The strength of that. So it's whether the US dollar is strong or weak is our trigger point.
And that obviously there's more things, but like that's like the first thing we look at.
That's a good one.
So keep going with what you were saying because I know exactly where you were going with it.
So basically, yeah. So like the dollar is our trigger point. So, you know, there's your map. If you're like, hey, what are we doing tonight? How are we making our money? Where are we going? It's the same thing as if you were a contractor. You got to know what house to go to paint the fucking shit. Or you got to go what house to go to pick up the mulch. Like, if I told you, you know, 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney, you'd be like, okay, I'm going there, but it's actually 48. Yeah, I fucked you. I fucked you bad. You went like across town for no reason.
The wrong house.
Basically, this broker was like, hey, the dollar is mega strong, which means that's telling us like, hey, maybe we're going to go take these specific trades over here because the dollar is mega strong. We reference this other broker's charts, and not only is it not mega strong, but it is exact opposite. It is mega weak, which means that our trades are going the wrong way, which means that for that night, we took very unnecessary losses because our broker was not specific about what was actually happening to the US dollar. Now, you'd be pretty frustrated to be like, I have a skill set that I've worked incredibly hard for, lots of trial and error, and real money is on the line. And then something was flubbed in front of you and just like squeaked very slightly just to fuck you, and you lose money or, you know, put you in any type of situation, right? You'd be pretty frustrated. So essentially, this was made apparent to us, and then upon some testing on multiple occasions, multiple times of the year, in multiple situations, we deemed it absolutely necessary to abandon the broker we had and move to a new one.
Yeah.
So, and that's, I mean, all I have to really say about that. But like, essentially, not everything is as cut and dry as it seems, because it's not just, oh, I know how to trade, I can make money. It's like, yeah, well, you better hope that your platform is supportive, because if it's not, you may have some issues coming your way. You know what I'm saying?
And you wouldn't even know it.
You have no idea because it's all you've ever known. We've been using the same broker since we started.
Yeah, exactly. We've been using the same broker for over a year. And we did all this back testing. And it's not where like you go to one versus the other and everything looks completely different. But when you go into like the fine things, like the fine tooth comb, we go in there with it, you know, it's just a couple little things that can throw stuff off.
In my opinion, it's because our strategy has gotten to the point, because we've been working on it for so long, where it is so hair thin where it is so under a microglass, like it's just fucking like it is just there, and you can split the
Right.
hairs. That's when you start to notice, like, oh, this is skewed ever so slightly. Things when you paint with a broad brush, you can kind of cover the little things. But when you're in there with a fine tooth fucking like pencil and you're doing the little shit, you can't hide the mistakes. Which means that when we go and comb through the charts, we're like, hey, this, that makes no sense. And then
We
like
are very specific when we
we
trade.
got to the point where we're extremely specific, which is some people don't trade extra specific, or they don't have as much let's call it as confluences. You don't have enough cases like evidence on your side. Basically, like it depends on the type of trader you are at the end of the day. But for us and our strategy, we were able to uncover the fact that we've been getting kind of, for lack of a better term, fucked out of our trades. And for God knows
Every
how
now and
long.
then, yeah.
Every now and then. It's not every trade. And we've had a lot of profit. And we've had a lot
Yeah,
of
we've been doing great.
improvement over the last while. But like at the same time, like wins are
We
wins. And like
found
it's not worth
we
it.
found multiple wins that was like this didn't even show up, or it showed something completely different on the other chart for no reason.
Could be worth millions of dollars, by the way. Like, and not for us because we're not $1 million traders. But my point being is like, if I had a huge account, if you had a massive account, and we were leveraging massive amounts of money on these trades, and let's say this broker has given us Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday were absolute false readings, which means it suffered losses all 3 of those days, and each one of those losses is worth 15 grand. Like, my friend, you're getting fucked. Like, you're down
Right.
$45,000. You know what I mean? Like, just because of this broker is feeding you false information. And by the way, having account sizes that big to be able to make that kind of profit is not far off of like a trader. A trader can absolutely do that. That is not like pipe dreams. This is actually real money. You know what I'm saying? Like that can actually happen to your average guy.
That's not like a once in a lifetime.
That's not like a once in a lifetime thing. That's where you're gonna be at eventually. So like the little things start to matter. If you're doing well and you're working at it. But like how it is. Like I'm not gonna say anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't have the money, you don't have the money. So like no one's gonna be like, I can do it. It's like, yeah, well, if you get there.
Like the point is like whether you have a big account or a small account,
the fact
that your charts can be slightly tweaked to show something completely different than what's actually happening, and you can lose trades because of that, regardless of the account size. That's fucked up.
It's bad. It's still the same percentage of your account you're losing. It doesn't matter if you have $1,000 or $10,000 account. You lost 4 to 5% of your account for no reason.
Yeah, exactly. And now that won't happen because the charts are from us to the bank. It's an A-style broker. There is no middleman.
Funnily enough, the 2 days that we have this new broker, we have no trades. So we haven't even been able to take any profits on this new broker yet. But
it's okay though.
Yeah, it's just strange how that works. But we're blitzing it. We're doing it.
I mean, Monday, fresh week, fresh broker.
Yeah, I'm excited. And we always pre-check the news events and stuff like that too, so we're knowing that we're not gonna get fucked by some random bullshit.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's that.
Yeah. So basically, where I was going earlier is we were talking about schedules. So I think that it's important to recognize, and I had actually had a long talk with our mentor about this, and one of his advice, I was like, I need help with my schedule because my schedule's bad right now. I'm in a situation that is not the most favorable for what I'm doing. And essentially his advice to me was put on your business hat. And it was, at the end of the day, if you're getting, popped out of your wheelhouse, if you're getting put out of the workshop and like you can't perform how you're supposed to, what is causing that? And can you change that factor? So if you were running a restaurant and your employees weren't showing up, suffers business, suffers hours, no more profit, or let's say a whole half of your profits are gone because your 8 employees aren't showing up. What are you going to do about it? First of all, don't put yourself in that position in the first place. Hire trustworthy people, demand that they do well, reward them well for doing well, and then you don't have an issue, right?
Yeah.
But if they're doing poorly, how do you fix it? Backtracking, whatever you're going to do. Basically, think of your situations, no matter who you are, what you're doing, as a business person, because everything is business at the end of the day. And I'm not saying that in like a corporate money is all and people suck and all I care about is money. My point being is that if you're trying to do something that has to do with money, you're trying to grow, the business mindset can sometimes be of a favorable descent. So that being said, if you're not making the time for your trading, if you're not sleeping well enough, if something's in the way, you have to try to supplement it. Whether it's, cutting back on your trading time, doing things that you're supposed to do earlier in the day. That's one reason why we're doing the podcast as early as we are right now. That's important for me. You know, with the time I've been spending way too much time doing the podcast late at night, it's been kind of harming my sleep schedule. It's been kind of harming the things that I've been doing lately. So it's something that I have to put at a different time of the day. Obviously, since we're, you know, in a business relationship, you and I, we have to do it so it works for you and works for me. So that's, you have to be considerate of all parties involved. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So that's, I mean, trading is a business. You got to treat it as a business. And a lot of people treat trading as if it's the glorious, like, oh, you trade stocks, you must just be able to do that in your underwear. And it's like, yeah, you could do that kind of thing. And like, you can be that way, but you also have to be disciplined and be able to construct your own shit. Because if you don't, people are going to push you around. You know, it's almost easy to say that people respect somebody who works extremely difficult jobs really hard and they get pummeled with bullshit all the time. They respect them more than somebody who doesn't work and they do. Well, I shouldn't say doesn't work. Someone who doesn't have like a job.
Like a 9 to 5.
Yeah. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I think.
Like it's people, and like, not saying, excuse me for moving, but not saying that people, you know, who work a 9 to 5 don't have respect. Like, everybody has respect. Everybody should have respect. But the point is, like, they like to treat, or it seems like they like to treat people who have it, quote unquote, easy, like they don't matter or their time's not valuable.
You know? I get what you're saying.
Like, I just worked a 14-hour shift at my metal steel mill. I'm going to come home and everybody's like, you work so hard and you do all this and, you know, you have it so hard, and like, don't fuck with him. He has to be up early, let him sleep. You know what I mean? And that guy is working extremely hard to get whatever he has, to have whatever life he has, and he deserves respect. Absolutely. You know, should he have to work that hard for what he has? Maybe not. I think that maybe he should have to work not that hard to get what he gets. Maybe he gets underpaid. Maybe he's undercut. Maybe he's not appreciated. Maybe his job doesn't, or his boss doesn't value him. That's its own problem on its own. But then you have this guy over here who's worked incredibly hard, trading and investing, reading lots of books, becoming, you know, he's trying to be a motivator for his friends. He's trying to fix people. He's trying to help people. He's trying to give people good advice, good money advice, trying to get people out of payday loans and stuff. But then he has to go to bed at 9 at night to wake up at 3 in the morning to do trading from 3 to 7 in the morning. And then everybody can shit on his schedule and get in his way and make him do things that he has to do later at the day because he's got it easy. You know, he
it's like, oh, you just trade.
You just trade. You know, like, you got it easy. Like, why are you pretending like you need all this special treatment? It's not special treatment. It's respecting somebody else's time. You know, it's easy to say that the dude driving around in a Bugatti must just sit in an office all day and answer phone calls. It's so easy to say that because, like, there's such a bad stigma on being successful. But that sweet spot where you don't really have a lot of money, but you're still doing the thing that's going to make you a lot of money, it's funny because people can't look at you and be like, he has a lot of money, so I'm going to respect him for that. And he does something that a lot of people don't do, and he has no job because he works hard doing his own thing. So it's a combination of, like, I should respect you, but I also kind of don't because you're not really showing me that I have to. The guy walking in with a $38,000 Rolex, driving a fucking, like, super Tesla with his, like, suit, and he has a lot of money, he demands respect. You know what I'm saying? He demands it. But the kid that comes in wearing the same shorts as 3 days ago because he hasn't slept, because he does all these things, because he's working so hard, to doing the same thing that guy does but on a lower scale, and in 7 years he'll be that guy, everybody's like, look at this fucking kid. You know what I mean? What are you doing? Why are you wasting your life? Like, people love to glorify the end result without reading the whole book first.
Right.
Those people are the people. Those people are the fucking people that read the last page of the book and they go, "That ending was stupid. It's not even worth reading the front." Like,
this is dumb. It's like, well, dumb. There was a lot more in between.
There's so much more to it. It's about the journey, not the destination. You know what I mean? Like, I have a hard time believing most people when they say that they just wish that they could just get given a lot of money, because while you might think that's the way it is, if somebody just gave you like $39,000 just at any point to do anything, I feel like a lot of people would be like, I didn't earn this. I don't really feel right having it. Like, you're going to buy TVs. You're going to pay off your debts and stuff like that. And like, maybe even that money would fall into someone's lap who needs it the most. You know what I mean? And that's going to be actually useful. My point being is that there comes a time when you get given so much that you're like, I don't really deserve this. I'm not really working for it. And then people are just going to devalue what you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Think of all the people who are like, you know, quote unquote trust fund babies, or their dad and their mom pay for everything. That's such a stigma. Everybody hates those people. It's not their fault their mom and dad pay for shit.
Yeah, I mean, okay.
I know where you're, I know where you're going, and we definitely should have this conversation. But I'm glad we're going here.
Oh wait, where am I going? I want to hear what you think I'm going.
I was assuming that you were going to start to go down the path of it's about how the kid reacts to it. It's not about if they get given a lot of money.
Right, and I think kind of, yeah. And I was like, I think it's like, it's also because you could be born into a rich family, and you could literally be given everything.
Yes.
And I think as a parent to that kid,
yes,
you can't really blame the kid. You have to blame the parent.
Right. No, you're on it. You are on it 100%.
Because like I watch a lot of YouTube, and I watched a YouTuber a couple of years ago who was super successful and obviously had a lot of money because they had a ton of stuff.
Yeah.
But the way they did it with their children, even though they were rich, bringing their children up, let's say the kid wanted something, he would be like, okay, well, here's like a list of things like chores to do, and I'll give you an allowance every week based like on what, you know what I mean? Like still giving them tasks to do. Or it's like, yeah, I have the money and you're going to get it eventually, but you have to work for it first.
Yeah, right. Like it's your job as the parent. And like I'm not about to sit here and give parenting advice because I don't have a kid. I don't know how it is. But
right, but you know what I mean.
But
right?
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, it's different for every situation. It's different depending on the kid, obviously. But I can't see a scenario where giving your kid everything they want is a good thing.
But and also what I'm saying is like, because like you were talking about like the stereotype where it's like, oh, fucking stupid trust fund babies, those guys are assholes.
Right.
They were brought up completely different, and they had no say in that.
It's so fair. Yeah, it's exactly.
From the moment they had consciousness, they had whatever they wanted, and they thought that's how the world was.
Exactly. And what a good way to say that, because you're not one of those people either. And you would think that, a lot. This goes really well for the person who thinks that trust fund babies are assholes and stuff like that. And when I said that earlier, I didn't mean that I meant it. I meant that that's a stigma, right? So like, obviously, like that's the stigma. If you have a lot of money, your parents have a lot of money, it's immediately negative. But
I mean, like obviously, some people are assholes.
Exactly.
But I'm saying like
exactly.
The first stereotype is you have rich parents. You're the worst person. I hate you.
Exactly.
Like, why?
Yeah. Well, that makes no sense. At the end of the day, it's like, what do you hate the parents? Like, why would they raise them like that? You know what I mean? Think of all the hard kids who had nothing growing up.
This is kind of right.
Yeah. Right. This is kind of
sorry, my internet was freaking out for a second.
You're
cut out. But what was I gonna say? Oh, this is sort of the same thing, but a little bit different. People nowadays hate successful business people. They hate them.
Yes,
this is everywhere.
Yeah. The devil.
Anyone that's like, anyone that's like up there in money. Because they're like, these people are the worst. They don't deserve. They're the worst people ever. Some people are like, they deserve to die, right?
Yeah.
At what point in your life, because then they respect everybody else, at what point in your life do you get enough money? Does your net worth become big enough that you no longer matter?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like,
have you ever heard
if they come from nothing,
have you ever heard the eat the rich thing?
Yeah. It's kind of like what I'm talking about. Like everyone's like the rich people suck, and I'm not sitting here like defending. I'm not saying like every rich person.
I am not. Blah, blah, blah. I am not about to be all fucking in the money and be like anybody who's. I'm not doing it. But my point, like your point, my point.
There's still people.
I've heard how many people shit on like Jeff Bezos and like Bill Gates and be like they deserve to die, and I'm like, did you fucking start Amazon? Like, could you have done that? You know what I mean?
And also another thing let's talk about with those people is a lot of people that are saying these people deserve to die, they're hoarding money. They don't have $10 billion in their bank account. They don't have a Huntington account with 10 bill in it.
This is true.
And go up to the ATM and like, oh, I think I'll take $1 million or dollars. That's like the only reason Jeff Bezos is worth all that much is because Amazon is worth that much.
That's true, yeah.
And he owns a bunch of shares in it. He has a lot of money, yeah, but like everyone's like he just
no one is sitting here saying that Jeff Bezos has to move money around when he has to buy stuff. Like it's not like he like has to like budget for his month. Like
right, but like his billions of dollars that it's Amazon. That's not Jeff Bezos. That's Amazon.
Amazon being worth cajillions and jillions of dollars, which I know is a real fucking number, but my point being is worth that it's worth that much. Is like that also has to get distributed in fixing things and paying for product and then paying for employees and like. Just because it's worth that much doesn't mean that you get it. It's the same as the lottery. Like I won 700 million, but 800 of that is fucking 800 million of that 700 million is fucking the government. And yes, I did the number over the amount on purpose. Like,
right. And it's just, and I know it's like back, but like, that was the question I was thinking to myself earlier. It's like, at what point does your net worth hit an amount and you become a worthless person and everybody hates you.
Where you become like, you should die.
It's like, oh, you have $400,000. Nice, good job. You're doing really well for yourself. Oh, you have $1 million. You're a shitty person. I hope you die. But you're the same person you were a year ago.
Why don't you give all that money to charity? Why you don't deserve it? Like, at what point?
Like, what the fuck? It's like, what did I do to you?
Yeah, because you would shit all over everybody who talked to you if you got a job that paid $17 an hour and all your friends got 14 and they were like, fuck you. You'd be ridiculously angry about that. You'd be like, I don't even have that much. Like, not saying that millionaires don't have that much. I'm not saying they deserve to be babied. No one deserves that bullshit. Either work for it and get it or don't bitch about it. Like, and also, if you live in bad situations and obviously shit is not on your side, no one is going to be like, work for it or don't whine about it. Like, have some sense when it comes to that kind of thing. And you can tell when someone is either they're trying or they're not. If you're not trying and you live in a bad situation, then maybe that is part of the problem. But also, if you're in a bad situation, you're trying really hard, then it's easy to be like, this dude is trying so hard and you're not. Like, obviously, of the two of you, who deserves it more? Like, you know what I mean? And I'm not trying to make some like grand statement about people who are living in bad situations and stuff like that. Like, dude, no one. Why would you want anybody to live in a bad situation? If I could snap my fingers and make everybody not live in bad situations, I would say it. My point being is that effort and attitude matter. So millionaires who have bad attitudes, yeah, fuck that. But millionaires who have good attitudes, why is that so horrible? You know what I mean? Yeah, where do you exactly draw the line? Tell me that, because I would really like to know that. Like,
yeah, I was thinking about that a lot earlier. Like, literally earlier in the day, I was sitting there and I was just kind of like on my computer, and I was like, everyone hates billionaires. Like, because I seen a bunch of shit talk about like Elon Musk and stuff like that. Just stupid billionaire guy sucks. And I was like, at what point did he go from a guy trying to make something of himself to not a person who doesn't deserve fucking basic human rights and deserves to die?
Yeah, and I was like, it's weird. It's one thing to have like mommy and daddy has $1 million, but then I become a billionaire, and it's like, you must have had to do something to get that. Something that I can't fucking do right now or at all, because like I don't just have if anybody could just shit out $1 million and be an asshole, why aren't you all millionaires? You know what I mean? Exactly. Like, at that point, like, what the fuck? It's like another thing is when people go viral on TikTok and they become super popular and they get sponsorships and stuff. It's like, why are you shitting on them? They did something.
Yeah,
it caught attention.
What did they do wrong?
Yeah, like, don't shit on Logan and Jake Paul just because they're rich. Like, if they're assholes, then that's another thing. But it's like, if they're rich because they did shit, then they did shit and they got rich. Like, you know what I mean? The guy who does nothing doesn't get anything. Like, you have to do something. You know what I mean? Yeah.
And I've seen that so much, dude. I know exactly what you're. It was influencers when they do something and then they get like a sponsorship and then everybody hates on them. Pisses me off.
Sell out.
Yeah. It's like, okay, sorry, I'm trying to fucking make a little bit of a living. What the fuck?
I saw some shit where it's like they were listening to a free podcast on Spotify. And they started running ads on this podcast. And by running ads, I mean the people would read them. They would just run the ad, like the character, like not characters, but they would characterize and do skits on the podcast to throw these brands without being like too down your throat. And then all their fans were like, "Fuck you, sold out." And I was like, "You're listening to a free podcast from people that you like to listen to, who just want to get paid for providing free content that is probably harder to do than you think it is, and you're just going to suddenly shit on them because you have to listen to a 13-second ad about Manscaped."
Yeah, it's like, why is that auto? Like, it's like, no, you should go work at Target and do this. I don't want to hear. No,
it's your fucking privilege at that point. It's you think that you deserve more or you deserve something and you're not getting it, so you're taking it out on the people above you who are suddenly getting what you want. Or
like, imagine how stupid that sounds.
That's so sadist. Like, I'm pretty sure sadism is the word. Not Satanism, but sadist is where you enjoy seeing Satanism. You enjoy seeing the pain in other people. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that is exactly, but my point being is like there's a lot of people that are like that. Either broken, egotistical people who are like, I deserve this, but I won't work for it. But when you get it, watch out because I'm coming for your throat. Like,
yeah, you're right. You're right on the definition, by the way.
Is it sadist?
A person who derives pleasure from inflicting pain or humiliation on others, which is kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
They want to see other people like, you know what I mean? They want to bring other people
down. They're not necessarily inflicting the pain, but the pain's happening and you're not cool with it. And like, or you are cool with it, I should say. Like, I don't know. Like, you take your average dude on the street, you take Bill, and he's a philanthropy god on the inside, and he's like, I just want to help everybody, and I would do anything to help anybody, but he has no money, so he can't do it. And then you take this millionaire who has the same exact attitude, and he can do something about it. He does, but doesn't make it public because not everything is for Instagram. And then he's a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. It's crazy. Because if I could walk up to anybody and be like, yo, listen. Like, we're trying to make this app. It's called TikTok. Right? We haven't released it yet, but we're pretty sure it's going to be really successful. It's a really good business model. We want you to run it. We want you to be the spokesperson for it. And, it's going to make you a lot of money. Who's going to say no?
Right. Who's going to be like, no, because then I'd be a sellout.
Yeah, because I'm going to sell out. No, you would fucking sell out if you could. Take some dude who takes pictures of himself shirtless in front of the mirror every day, and he's like, I'm so fucking buff and ripped, and I'm the shit, and I'm awesome. And then he's yelling at all these people for having sponsorships, and watch Gymshark fucking DM him and be like, you want a sponsorship? $13,000 extra a year, free clothes, we'll fly you to Las Vegas every week to do photo shoots. Yes or no? You think he's going to be like, no, my morals are too high. I will not take that offer. I will not do that. I'm the bigger person. Like, no, motherfucker, you're going to do it. And then you're going to regret having shit. And that's totally fine. I'm not going to shit on you. But guess what? If I meet you and you're a prick and you can't recognize that you were given a chance and you don't project that on other people and you don't tell other people that, hey, I did this thing every day for a year and then Gymshark got a hold of me. No, your first attitude toward this guy is going to be fuck him. Like, what the hell? Everybody's a crybaby. Everybody's a fucking crybaby. Everybody's
this podcast went so many places.
This podcast went so many places. Fucking everybody's a goddamn crybaby. Even successful people are crybabies. Like, you have to fight that shit. I'm a fucking crybaby. And I don't even think I'm successful. I'm a goddamn crybaby. Sometimes I feel jealous of shit. Like, but let's work on that. Let's get better at that. You know what I mean? Let's not be a fucking crybaby over everything. I used to fucking be so upset over shit. In all honesty, I was never the person that called anybody a sellout. Like, I never felt that way. But there were some things that I had that I was like shitty about. I used to feel really shitty towards Logan Paul and Jake Paul. You know what I mean? I used to feel
they're not the greatest people.
They're not. No. I didn't say I'm not still shitty about them. But I'm saying I used to be shitty about them just because they were Jake Paul and Logan Paul. But now,
just because they were up there.
Now I'm like, I really don't like your attitudes and I really don't like your actions. So it's like, now I have a justifiable reason. But also, you won't find any social media of me talking shit about them because I keep it to my goddamn self. And not everything's for Instagram. I'm not a thumb warrior. Right. Like, it's not have to be like that. You know what I mean? We should call this podcast Thumb Warriors.
Thumb Warriors. Thumb Warriors unite.
But yeah, I mean, that's just anybody. I feel like all my friends are like this, but everybody else isn't. You know what I mean? Where it's like everybody on the internet's assholes, but all my friends seem to have the same opinion as me. So like, where's this coming from? You know what I mean? You know what's a good way to think about it though? The loudest people are always the people who have shit to say that's bad. That's why all YouTube comments are usually bad. I mean, not all YouTube comments, but let's say a good majority of comments are really bad. And it's because if you have something negative to say, you want to fucking shout it from the rooftops because it's emotionally charged.
It's so easy to say something negative. It's so hard to say something positive.
Do you know what I do when I see positive shit?
What?
I absorb it, share it with somebody I want somebody to see, or I like it and move on. You know what I mean? I'm not the person that just like shoves it everywhere and is like, check this out, you have to see this. Like, I'll send you a video that I think is funny, or I'll laugh about it to myself, give it a like on whatever it is, and then just keep swiping or keep moving. But if someone sees something negative, oh my God, they're in the comments. What the fuck is this? Fuck you. Why are you doing this? Sell out. Share it to this. Look at this bullshit. Stupid. You know what I mean? You just gotta you know what I mean? Hate spreads like fire.
Right. And
it's just always been like that.
You have such an opportunity. And I feel like a lot of people are like that. You see something you like, and you'll like it, or you'll send it to like maybe a friend or two, and you'll move on with your day. But when they see something they don't like, they are stuck on it for weeks.
Yeah, that's
they're like,
point.
I'm leaving comments.
I can't believe Nicolas Cage was in that movie. I can't fucking believe that fucking. I can't believe The Rock made another action movie. Why the fuck is he in Fast and Furious? This is stupid. It's like, dude, fuck you. The Rock would crush you. The Rock would crush you, and you don't give a fuck. The dude is cool as shit, and then you have to be like, fuck him because he's making movies. Like, I saw this thing and it was like Adam Sandler only makes movies to pay his friends, and I was like, good. fucking good. The dude that brought us fucking like Happy Madison, like the fucking company.
Happy Madison.
Happy Madison's the production company for both those movies. It's
Is it?
Yeah, it's the combination of Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison. Like,
okay, I thought you merged the movie names together.
I mean, to be honest, let's merge the movies together. Happy Gilmore and Billy Madison are some of the best movies I've ever seen. I know some people don't like them, but you honestly kiss my ass. But like they're good movies. Also, another thing, since we're all over the fucking place, people who shit on movies to other people who haven't seen them, fuck you. Like, let the person see the goddamn movie. And then fucking like let them fucking deal with it. If you meet somebody who hates the same movie as you, then please make out. But like otherwise, you don't have to fucking shit down other people's throats over movies.
Make out.
I hate when I'm like, oh, I want to see that new King Kong Godzilla movie, and then someone's like, no, that movie's fucking trash. I was like, you're fucking trash. Let me watch the goddamn shit. If I hate it, then I'll fucking write you a letter and we can talk about it.
Let me determine.
Let me fucking determine. Oh my god. I'm like,
okay. We're getting heated.
This podcast is getting emotionally charged. I am so emotional right now. Anyways,
let's bring it back.
Let's sum it up. You ready? Okay. Don't be a fucking asshole. How about that? And let's move on. all that can be encompassed.
Stupid opinions of yourself, because guess what? No one gives a fuck what you say.
Keep your fucking stupid shit to yourself. Let me enjoy my bad movies and rock movies. Like Jesus Christ.
If you think The Rock is the shittiest actor, and I want to go see a Rock movie, you don't have to sit there and explain to me why you think he's a shitty actor.
Guess what? I'm gonna fucking buy the tickets to that movie before I would ever see any movie you're in right now. So like, what the fuck does it matter anyways? Like, go Steven Spielberg your own shit out a masterpiece, please, and I'll go watch that. Because I promise, if I like your movie, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? Next person that tells me they don't like a movie, I hope that they slide me a DVD of their movie, or let's say a Blu-ray, or even a floppy disk. Fuck it. And
let's see your movie.
I'll pop a whole bag of popcorn. I don't care if it's like Titanic level long. I'll watch your shit and tell you exactly what I think about it. I watched the whole fucking thing. I won't even be on my phone.
But anyways, on that.
I need a minute.
On that note. That got heated.
That got heated. Wow. I was like, let's talk about trading. What should we call this podcast now? Fucking.
Man, I don't know.
The 4X movie hour. Fucking goddamn.
The 5 minute. I don't know.
The 5 minute.
I don't know where I was going with that. The thing.
The thing. Well, you know what? I dug this podcast. I dug this jazz.
Wait, has that already been it?
We're 52 minutes.
We were going in on that.
Yeah, I think we started talking about that bullshit at like 12 minutes or like 20 minutes maybe.
Damn.
Well,
okay.
You can find this goddamn podcast
that's
in
fast.
IMAX near you at your local movie.
That's a shitty movie. You shouldn't watch it.
Wait, IMAX is shitty? Is that a shitty company? Is IMAX a company?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't fucking know. I was trying to play a joke on what I was talking about.
Don't play jokes. This isn't a funny podcast.
Well, fuck. You were like, hey, I hate the person.
You know, maybe you know what? We're selling out. I openly endorse Pepsi, The Rock, TikTok. Fucking what else do people get really mad at? Fucking
Elon Musk.
I endorse Bitcoin. Trading is cool. Equal rights for everybody.
Trust fund babies.
Trust fund babies. Oh, we'll call this podcast Trust Fund Toddlers.
Trust fund toddlers. Trust fund toddlers.
You can find this podcast. You can find this podcast sitting at the bottom of your garbage disposal where it belongs. You can find this podcast on YouTube at Pipsqueaks Podcast. New episodes every Monday, starting an episode ago. Starting Monday. You can find us on Spotify at Pipsqueaks Podcast, rapidly approaching the 10th episode, rapidly approaching our next sponsorship deal, rapidly approaching cancel culture, rapidly approaching getting hated by everything that matters because all we do is shit on shit now. There will be no wiener pills in this next episode. Wait for episode 8. It's going to be in Spanish. And you can catch the fucking music on the goddamn way out. Goodbye.
Damn.
You want to say anything?
Oh, no, I'm good.